All right, well, welcome to Vlog 6, the reflection for our audio research project. I think the most successful part for our media project is the way the ideas were conveyed. Adrian's idea of it being portrayed through a conversation was a really good one because it honestly was a representation about how we talked about the project itself. While Nam and I were writing the script, we kind of drew from our own conversations about this topic, saying, remember those good old days of YouTube and such. So I think it was a really fitting way to portray our arguments through just two people having a conversation. I think the least successful part of our work is the rush nature of it. For reasons I'll get to in a few questions down. We didn't have time to kind of revise and tweak it for at least like a week. We kind of have only a few days to do that. So there wasn't that really fine-tuning element to it. This project kind of gave me a greater understanding about the dichotomy between corporate YouTube and the like amateur kind of honest content that you see. So the kind of monetary gain versus the I just want to make YouTube videos for fun and what I want to do and whatever. However, what I've kind of noticed is maybe there isn't two sides at all. Maybe it's really just a facade over these creators who want to do it for monetary gains because it is their job after all. But they put a facade over it of being honest and truthful and almost that parasocial relationship that I think another group is talking about to kind of elevate their content to a level that the audience will truly appreciate. And that kind of relates to our project in that a whole genre just kind of got eliminated because of monetary reasons and the implications of that, saying that that's how much control this monetary need of YouTube has. I think the most important affordance in our project were the interjections as they kind of pull the whole thing together and they add so much to the listener's experience because it's only listening. So any form of just difference in pacing rather than just two people talking, it kind of elevates that and takes the pacing to a new level. Another thing it does is add evidence. So, I mean, if we're talking about whatever, about a certain YouTuber and we play one of their clips that supports that argument or whatever we're saying, it kind of provides a bit of grounding, less conjecture and more grounded in evidence and reality. And I think without the interjections, we wouldn't be using the audio to its fullest extent as a medium. So I think it's kind of necessary to have them in every shape and form. The most vital thing I think I learned during this process was the accountability that each team member has. Like I mentioned earlier, our pacing got a little bit messed up because Adrian and I both got sick the same week. And for that entire week, we were out. We couldn't go outside. It was pretty bad. So that kind of screwed up our pacing because that week we were going to record everything. So we said, okay, that's fine, push it to the next week. But then the next week, Nam got sick. So that kind of necessity of all team members was really apparent in that kind of situation where otherwise perfect planning would be completely thrown off course if just two team members get sick. The accountability also kind of helps with procrastination of just doing the work in general because you feel like you're letting actively people down. Like it's not too bad if you let yourself down. I do that all the time. But if I'm letting someone else down, that's a bit more of an issue. And honestly, it's a moral obligation to not let them down. So I think that helped a lot, at least with me, for my procrastination. When we were doing the presentations, Max brought up some really good points on like what type of evidence we're going to use. And at the time, I really only had business stuff, talking about the amount of money you can make, the different kind of charts on how YouTube's charted over time with different monetizations and audience rates and all that stuff. He brought up a good point that made me realize I probably need more than just a business perspective on the thing, maybe a perspective from the audience, because they obviously won't really know what the business perspective is. They're just here for content. Potentially bringing that audience perspective into our argument through a different type of research was a really good idea, and that's what we implemented in. But yeah, that's my reflection. I thought it was really, really fun project, working with people and such. I'm not the biggest audio guy in the world, but I thought it was pretty fun to work with it no matter what, especially with the people that I was with. So yeah, it was good.